Hello everyone, my name is Brennan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator, and welcome to Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. Today I want to talk about the prophecy of the Chosen One. Now, just recently, Claudia Gray's new canon Star Wars novel, Master and Apprentice, which is about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, sheds some light on the wording of the prophecy of the Chosen One. Prophecy which the Jedi clung to for thousands of years. Now, I have not read this novel, though I hear Claudia Gray is a pretty good Star Wars novelist. And I know that a lot of you listening have not read this novel. So, I think I'll just mention one thing briefly. There are several Jedi prophecies mentioned in the book. But here is the prophecy of the Chosen One in its exact wording. It says the following, quote, "A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored." Close quote. All right. Well, that pretty much tells us that the Chosen One is Anakin Skywalker because he was born of no father. Now, I'm going to talk briefly about the stuff that we know from outside the movies, and then talk about what we know within the movies. Outside of the movies, we get the suggestion in the last issue of the Darth Vader Dark Lord of the Sith comic book story arc that Palpatine may have created Anakin within his mother's womb, within Shmi Skywalker's womb. Now this would then beg the question, how could he be the Chosen One if he was created by a Sith Lord? Well, the prophecy is vague. Also, the suggestion about Palpatine creating Anakin is vague. But let's say it's true. Let us say for a moment that Palpatine did create Anakin. Maybe the Force itself, being a living entity, was striving for its own equilibrium. Therefore, when it saw that Palpatine was messing with nature, as the Sith like to do, the Force thought, this guy is messing with the natural order. And therefore, the being that he is creating will be his downfall. Maybe the Force saw what Palpatine was doing and thought, well, I'm going to have this creature that Palpatine has created end up killing Palpatine and bringing balance to the Force. It's very much like concepts presented in Frank Herbert's novel Dune. The idea that fulfillment of prophecies can often be a double-edged sword. Also, it seems that if Palpatine is going to mess with the natural order, the Force is going to strike back, which is interesting, because in the novel Tarkin, another Star Wars canon novel, Palpatine is reminiscing that his own master, who we discover is Darth Plagueis, said once that the Force will strike back. Perhaps the Force decided to strike back at the Sith for their violation of the natural order. That's how I see it. Now, let's go to what we see in the movies. In Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon Jinn believes that Anakin Skywalker is the chosen one. Shmi tells him that Anakin was born without a father. Possibly manipulations of Palpatine. But that is never mentioned in the movies. Qui-Gon Jinn then checks Anakin's midichlorian count. Yes, I'm going to talk about midichlorians really quick. And they are the highest he's ever seen. He surmises that Anakin was conceived by the midichlorians. This immediately causes the Jedi Council to sit up in their chairs at the idea that they may have found the chosen one. Now, we see that Mace Windu isn't all that enthusiastic, which leads me to surmise that this has happened before, where there have been false alarms. About, oh, we found the chosen one. Oh, not really. I think it's entirely possible that that had happened already. But Qui-Gon believed that Anakin was conceived by the midichlorians, thus being in line with the prophecy. Now, they never actually say what the prophecy says. But here's what Mace Windu says. He says, you refer to the prophecy, the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy? So we learn from this scene that the chosen one will bring balance to the Force. Now, what does that mean? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, as we know, Anakin turned to the dark side. Yoda and Obi-Wan seem to be under the impression that because Anakin fell to the dark side, he could not be the chosen one. Obi-Wan in particular. Now, let me step outside the movies. In Star Wars Rebels, which is a canon animated show, Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Darth Maul that he believes Luke is the chosen one. Maul travels to Tatooine and confronts Obi-Wan. He knows that Obi-Wan is guarding somebody. And he asks, the person you're guarding, is it the chosen one? And Obi-Wan says, yes. Obi-Wan believes that Luke is the chosen one, because he does not see how Anakin could fulfill his destiny after he fell to the dark side. I think maybe this is why Obi-Wan put such an emphasis in Return of the Jedi on the fact that Luke is the last hope. Now, in a way, this is true. I believe that Darth Vader would have never fulfilled his destiny and returned to being Anakin Skywalker and defeating Palpatine if it were not for Luke. I believe that the prophecy is vague because prophecies are often fulfilled in ways that are not expected, but they happen nonetheless. Anakin Skywalker fulfilled his destiny, defeated the Sith and restored balance to the Force, his son being the catalyst for those events. But nonetheless, I believe that Anakin Skywalker is the chosen one. I know many fans have debated who's the chosen one. Is it Anakin? Is it Luke? Is it Leia? Is it Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren? Or is it Rey? People have debated. I think the debate can continue because that's a good thing. It's healthy to have these kind of debates. But for my money's worth, I believe Anakin is the chosen one. I believe he brought balance to the Force. Now, what does balance in the Force mean? I believe balance in the Force means the natural order. The Jedi are guardians of the natural order. The natural order of the universe. The Sith, on the other hand, like many of those who embrace the dark side and use the dark side of the Force, use it to manipulate the natural order, to bend it to their will, which is a violation of the Force's purpose. The purpose of the Force is to bind all things together, all life. Light and dark, life and death, cold and heat, balance, as Luke explains it to Rey. Therefore, I believe that the Sith needed to be destroyed because they were destroying the natural order. They eradicated the Jedi, so there was no one there to get rid of them until Anakin came to his senses and saved the day. I believe that when Emperor Palpatine was killed, balance was restored because the Jedi returned. In the case of Luke, Anakin fulfilled his destiny, and the natural order could progress without the imbalance of the Sith. Now, of course, years later, with Kylo Ren and Snoke, and others who embraced the dark side, there needed to be a balance, and that balance, I believe, is Rey. But that's a debate for another time. But to be fair, I believe Anakin Skywalker fulfilled his destiny and restored balance. As Lor San Tekka says in the beginning of The Force Awakens, without the Jedi, there can be no balance in the Force. The Jedi are there to maintain balance. The Sith are there to corrupt the balance. And when Anakin destroyed the Sith, balance was restored. So I'll say it again. I believe Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one and did indeed fulfill his destiny. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. My name is Brendan Marr. That noise you hear is my ventilator. And thank you for tuning in to Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you.